right, we're recording.
All right.
All right, hey. All right, this is episode 3 of Nighttime with Tess Devine. I know this is the last episode after a long hiatus.
In the day.
Yeah.
In the day. Well, you know, whatever. You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. I am here with Mitch and Jake from the podcast Work in Progress.
Yeah.
Hey. How you guys doing?
Oh, you know.
Yeah.
Going. How you doing, Mitch?
Yeah.
I'm all right.
Yeah.
Doing
Got
good.
to slow down a little.
Yeah.
Am I
That's
going?
That's good. I feel like you're usually going faster than I usually am.
I am. I'm on a rare little 4-day vacation.
Yeah, that is
It's
nice.
Lucky
It's
motherfucker.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna pick right back up next week.
Excellent.
Yeah, and also we are on location. We are not filming in a house or in someone's someone meaning mine, creepy basement.
I mean,
we're
our
actually
basement's
Not
pretty
that
creepy,
but it's really clean.
All of
though.
those basements
it's so
are.
clean. It's not like riddled with cigarette butts and beer bottles.
It's been a while since you've been on the podcast.
Yeah.
Nah,
we
that's a
were
good
playing
point.
cigarette with butts with empty beer bottles.
Empty beer bottles.
So,
Okay,
you know.
okay, yeah. Work in Progress has done way more episodes than my podcast has. And I've
And
been
it-
on it more times than my own podcast.
It
so.
should be noted, though, funnily enough, Tess has 2 episodes of her podcast up, still has like 40 more likes on Facebook than we do.
I know. It's
I
ridiculous.
am popular. What can I say?
Obviously.
I'm still trying. We finally got Mark, of all people. To
I know, I
like
saw he liked it. I was
Yeah.
like, Mark hadn't liked it yet? What the
Of all the
hell?
people, he finally did. Anyway.
So,
Yeah, so Jake, this was your idea, Work in Progress. And so like what started this? Like what
well, it was back in, August, I think.
Sure, let's
August
say
or
August.
September, whatever the shit. I don't even remember what the first episode was, but it was like a month before we first started it, and it had gotten to the point where, yeah, it really was.
Wow.
It had gotten to the point where I was really unhappy with my job at the time. I was really unhappy with just this rut I had fallen into, and I had there was one night I was sitting on my computer, I was going through my folder that has literally just everything I've ever like tried to write in it.
Yeah.
And there was a few things that were complete, but I counted them. There were like 64 files in there that were just uncompleted shit. Not even necessarily writing. Some of them were like other like ideas I'd had that I never like filmed or recorded or whatever.
I got a sheet going right
Yeah.
now,
And so I realized that recently I'd been speaking with my now roommate Andrew, who is also on the podcast, as well as Mitch, and they had both mentioned that they were just kind of, floating along, waiting until they graduated. And I was like, well, why the fuck should we wait till we graduate? So I came up with the idea for Work in Progress to function kind of like as a banner under which we could all sort of support each other and make each other, like, have some accountability there to make each other finish the things that they start. So Andrew, I know he's been going really good with his review blog. It's rockrelapse.com. Then Ian he hasn't really done anything yet, but I know he wants
He's
to start
finally
filming
getting the
again.
stuff together, which is a big
Yeah,
deal.
exactly. Ian's love him to death, but oh man, is he sometimes super lazy.
This project was supposed to happen last year, and now
Yeah.
he's finally getting stuff together for it, though, which is cool.
Yeah,
So
but we
we're
won't talk
finally-
about that yet.
No, yeah.
So don't want to jinx it. On top of that, I finished a couple things that I wanted to do, and unfortunately the focus kind of shifted at that point from
We still plug our
finishing.
own stuff, but
Well,
yeah.
no, like for me personally, the focus shifted
Yeah.
from using Work in Progress as sort of a background thing to make me finish my shit, and now Work in Progress is the thing I'm trying to finish.
Uh-huh.
So we just recently,
Some would
we
call that ironic.
Exactly. We just recently started up Comics and Coffee, which was a Mitch and I idea from about a year ago. It was originally supposed to be a video podcast, but now it's just audio, and Andrew runs it, and it's pretty good. So far, so
It's
good.
fun, yeah.
Yeah.
We just hit their 20th anniversary episode.
Yeah, 20th week anniversary. And we just started our Vine account. There's only 3 things on there, but I mean,
Yeah.
we did 3 in like the span of a day and a half. So
We need to make more.
yeah, we're gonna
So
we're
I
gonna
can
keep
actually
doing
start
that.
coming up with ideas for
Yeah.
lines.
God, pull your weight, Mitch. But yeah, so its function is sort of twofold in that it gives us something to look forward to a couple times a week, and
Yeah.
also gives us a reason to finish the things that we start.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice. I like that. So, I mean, at one point did you go, I'm going to invite my friends, I'm going to invite Mitch, I'm going to invite Andrew on here. Why not go, like, I'm going to invite just a ton of other people I don't know, or kind of do this, like, weird sort of balance thing. Like, sometimes people have on their podcasts, people who have opposite opinions, or people who are, like, opposite personalities, or whatever, to kind of create some weird kind of conflict. Why did you choose your friends? Like, why would...
Well, part of it, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
Jake,
I'm not gonna lie to you. About 80% of it was proximity.
Yeah.
So I just kind of fell into it. The other 20% though was I think you and I, like, we've talked about this before with you, but you started your podcast because you like that sort of the interview aspect of shows where it's just like bullshitting. And I've always liked that as well. And I knew that originally I wanted to have it so that we had, us five and then a weekly guest, and the weekly guest would be someone local, like a musician or an artist, or someone promoting something.
We did have a musician once on our
Once.
Once, yeah.
He was a cool guy.
He was. Steven was really cool. But yeah, it started off as like this idea that I would sort of devote this local following that would then sort of spiderweb out from Springfield, and it would act as a way for me to sort of bring Springfield up to sort of notoriety rather than just this small blue dot in the center of all red. So yeah, it started off as that, and then from there, we sat down for the first episode, which is unfortunately the unaired original first episode got cut short because my computer is a piece of shit. So
Someone
I still
pulled the
have
cord out of it and went,
I still have one of the microphones recordings.
Do you?
Yeah,
That's interesting.
And it's only about 45 minutes long, but it ends abruptly because there's a pause that everyone's like, and you just hear me go, God damn it! And then Andrew's like, so I'm just gonna shut this off now. So we have that, but we sat down for that one just to see what it was like, and it felt more appropriate if we did the sort of commute humor.
Yeah.
So like, just driving to work and listening to something, whatever the fuck you want. So from there, we just kind of stuck with that rather than, doing that. And every once in a while.
We still plug all of our stuff too. Like,
yeah. It's at its front, it's kind of just a press whore kind of thing. Yeah. But we still have people on who are, usually they're local. Chris is, I think, the one exception, but he's just a friend of the show that we had on. So yeah, so it was really.
I think it was more of a we all missed him.
Yeah, and we had him on, but it was just proximity mostly that I had all the friends.
Nice. So, is there an overall theme with every episode of Work in Progress? Is it basically
Not even a
well,
little.
unintentional? I would imagine, because I think the unintentional theme is comic books. Like every time I've been on, it's comic books.
Exactly.
But
and
I mean,
it's just
for the
because we
most part,
like
it's
talking
just-
about it.
Yeah, but for the most part, it's a bunch of guys just bullshitting in a basement, right?
Exactly. Yeah. The unofficial tagline that I'm so horrified of making it the official one because I'm afraid I'll alienate like half of our listeners.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know, but like it is.
yeah, it's five guys in a basement and there's nothing gay about it because it's literally five guys in a basement. So that's sort of the unofficial tagline that I use, and nobody else does because they're shy, and that's totally fine. I get it. It is comic books, and
I know
that's
trying to do comics and coffee, we're trying to take some of that off of Work in Progress
okay.
and put it onto that.
It deserves its own podcast, honestly.
Yeah.
It deserves its own podcast.
Well, and one thing I noticed about Comics and Coffee, because we actually got a lot more listeners on that than we do with Work in Progress. So I think what it is that it's good that we have a more short form podcast because Comics and Coffee is about half an hour long rather than an hour and a half. Like Work in Progress is. So I think it's good that we have that sort of short form for people to get on and listen to as an entry, sort of a gateway drug, as it were.
A gateway drug.
Because that's much more palatable, and it's something much more focused.
Right.
Whereas like you said, the theme, there's not really a theme with Work in Progress. It's literally we sit down and then I look at everybody and it's like, so
what do you guys
everybody want to talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it ends up being comic books more often than not lately.
We all pay attention to that. Yes.
But it ends up being more about comics than anything else recently because Andrew, I think, just recently started getting back into him because Mitch and I would go on these tangents on the podcast.
We brought him more into the fold, and now he's beating all of us because he has a fancy Kindle.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
He
he's just like,
downloads all of it for free, and
I'll
we're
get-
all just like, ugh.
all the books. He's like, we're gonna record on Thursday, so everybody has time to read the new comic books that come out on Wednesday. And I'm like,
None of us
you-
have time to
you're
read
jokes.
anything other than him.
Me having time to read them in a day.
That's funny. Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Here's a question I wanted to ask. How did you two meet? How did you and you two meet?
Well,
I don't know.
you see, when a man loves another man,
He
really-
just
had this-
brings them
Exactly.
So when a man loves
actually-
another man, you two meet.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Exactly.
how it works.
I've actually been talking quite a bit. Mitch, you take the front on this.
I want to say it was through Ian, probably. Ian or Andrew?
It would have been Andrew because I didn't meet anybody down here.
Oh, that's right.
Well, it would have been through them both.
Yeah.
So
Well, see, even I met Andrew through Ian.
yeah. So I guess
I don't know.
it was at MSU.
Okay.
It was definitely through MSU.
And it was while I was. It really may have been just the first time that Andrew brought me up to meet you guys because there was like a big old group.
probably.
we're still pretty much in contact with most of them, but some of them drifted away.
Yeah.
But I think it was literally just I came up to hang out with Andrew, and Andrew was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go hang out with these guys," and I was like, "I'm gonna go with."
Yeah.
And you were in a room
And
like
we just kind
playing
of
video games.
you guys probably came up to me in Mark's room because
We did, yeah.
Me and Mark's dorm room was the room because we had carpet.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the only reason why. So whenever people say like the rug really brought the room together, like
Yeah.
the movie,
It did, yeah.
I think that's very true for our dorm room. And I don't know, we just kind of started hanging out afterwards. I found out he likes drinking and he likes punching guys in the face and kissing girls. And
Yeah.
it's a tag to your Facebook,
Yeah.
by the way. And
It's my unofficial motto.
we liked all the same stuff, and so we've just been hanging out ever since.
Nice.
It just kind of stuck.
Mm-hmm.
It helped
just kinda
really.
stuck.
It helped really that we became fast friends with. Well, I became fast friends with his friends through Andrew and Ian. And then we figured out that we both like drinking and we both like playing video
Yeah,
games.
so it just kind of worked out
Yeah.
for the best, and then it very much became the "Hey, buddy."
Hey, buddy.
That was his expression every time. I loved it.
It's because did I ever tell you why I said "Hey, buddy" so much?
No, I like
For the
it.
first 6 months I knew you, I had no fucking idea what your name was. I straight up did not know.
I believe it.
So every time you're like, "Hey, Jacob," I'm like, "Hey, buddy."
Well, that's all right. They introduced you as Sparky, so forever
Yeah.
you were Sparky.
Yeah.
It's not until like this last year that it's like, oh right, he has a first name.
That's right.
Sorry.
I don't give a shit. You can call me whatever the fuck you want. I'll answer to anything.
Oh, I
pretty
know.
much. As long as I know you're talking to me.
But I guess that's pretty much the story.
Okay. So let's talk about comic books and coffee. Is that the name of the new podcast?
Yeah.
Sister podcast.
Or both comics and coffee. Really.
Comics and coffee. That's right.
Rolls
All
off the tongue a little easier.
Yeah, it does. Comic books and coffee is a little
Yeah.
awkward. So. How many episodes have you had so far?
We've done two
Okay.
so far. We've gotten pretty good about doing one every week. I want to see if there's a day we can just do what we've done for Work in Progress and just make
Shit out a couple of them.
Yeah, just because, I mean, why not?
I shouldn't say shit out. I say shit out for Work in
I
Progress
know.
because we really kind of do just shit those out. Comics and coffee it's so much more structured and like way
Andrew's
more
been-
professional.
Andrew has been coming in every episode being like, all right, guys, I'm going to kind of take the wheel, and here we go. And the only people who deviate are probably me and Jay.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's
But it's really structured. I'm enjoying it because we're trying to take away some of our comic book shenanigans and put them all into this. And
Yeah.
it's been fun because it's being, thanks to the movies, and it's all becoming much bigger. So now everyone's getting a little more curious than they were years ago.
it's not
Yeah.
quite as
Yes.
niche.
It
functions.
It's been really good.
Good. Nice.
And it's really nice to. I know that Mitch and I would always have this problem. We'd get together and we hang out as like a group. Mitch and I would always inevitably end up like going off to the side and just bullshitting about
So
comics
anyway,
for like 2.5
Spider-Man
hours.
today. Yeah.
And then we, for whatever reason, we both got shut up phone. The Rams scored again. Today's a good day.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So anyway, yeah, it's really nice to have a sort of forum where we can get that out of our system because we're both really busy. So the only time we really see each other is, when we do
Sadly
work in
through that
progress.
or-
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's nice to get that out.
Yes, it is.
So-
I don't get to talk to many people about it.
Oh, yeah.
I might regret this because this might be a lengthy response, but like, what currently comics are you reading or are your favorite? Like, what did you just talk about with the last episode?
It's not-
in a nutshell.
Not as lengthy as you think it would
Okay.
be.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, his will be more lengthy than mine. But
Okay.
So you can start.
So you say.
Yeah.
Well, in our last episodes, we kind of, because we've only done the two, for our first one was kind of how we got into reading comics and what we're reading the most currently, and second episode I thought was really interesting because we talked more about where the Man of Steel movies are going,
Yeah.
which I think is really interesting nowadays.
Well, and that one took up, and I don't want to spoil what we talked about. 'Cause
Right,
Go
yeah.
listen to it if you want to know.
Yeah.
But that took up like probably half the damn thing, which is only 15
Well,
minutes,
it's
but
pretty
it's literally
interesting
half the
because,
podcast,
that was the big blockbuster movie, and that's DC finally kind of pushing towards what Marvel has already accomplished.
so, yeah.
And so it's been funny to see how DC's trying to make a counter to the Avengers.
Trying so hard.
Trying ever
Just-
so hard.
So back to the other question she had, which was, what are you currently reading?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. The current books that I'm addicted to reading right now are the new Spider-Man books, because it's going by a new title. I don't want this to be too boring. It's going by a new title right now called The Superior Spider-Man. What happened in this big plot about a year ago now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's over a year now. 'cause
Yeah,
at the
over a
annual-
year now. They put Dr. Octopus's mind inside Peter Parker's body.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What?
It was meant to be super like, oh no, and Pete's fighting back, and Pete ends up dying in Doc Ock's body, but he kind of makes him relive all of his memories. So now Doc Ock's trying to be a hero, not trying to be a bad guy. But he wants to, because he's arrogant, he's all like, I'll be a better Spider-Man, a superior Spider-Man.
He even says that line.
He says it so
cheesy.
much, and it's
God.
so great, because it's very cheesy bad guy.
It's like the name of the book, so you're like, oh, Doc Ock. You.
And so he's actually doing a lot of things really well, but a lot of morally questionable things. Like one thing is he kind of puts like these little spider cameras all over town, and people are like, oh, it's good, then he can see what's going on, and other people are like, no, it's Big Brother, and blah 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 blah. But it's been really interesting because he's only recently starting to fuck up. Like
Interesting.
the dominoes are starting to fall, and it's been fun.
It feels very much like Breaking Bad.
Yes.
Like like the last season of Breaking Bad, where slowly but surely everything starts to go wrong.
It's starting to go wrong.
Yeah.
Anything that can go wrong is, and much more than we thought.
Oh god.
Yeah, okay.
So that's been really fun. I've been loving what they're doing with Batman as always.
It's kind of hard to fuck up Batman.
It's
though.
so I don't.
As long
I
as long as
disagree.
you-
we've had arguments about what Grant Morrison has done to Batman.
That's fair. He's the one man who can fuck up Batman.
But I don't know. Those have been the biggest thing that I've been reading that I'm addicted to.
Yeah.
I feel like Walking Dead is great as always. Introduced a tiger that's eating zombies.
Oh, yeah.
It's so fun.
That's awesome.
He's
Just because comics.
I have a feeling that Robert Kirkman is kind of starting to run out of ideas because he's on like issue
Well,
120 something, and so he's like, you know what we haven't had yet?
A tiger.
A tiger. So Mitch reads more of the classic stuff, and I love the classic stuff to that, you know, like Batman, Green Lantern, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I love it all. Unfortunately, my
Talk
time
about Matt Fraction.
talk about Matt Fraction and Jeff Johns more. No, I'm gonna give me a second. Let me build up to it.
At least talk about sex criminals.
Oh, I will. I'm gonna plug the shit out of things that I want to read. But what has been happening recently with Mitch and I specifically? We'll trade comics or we'll just bullshit like we do.
Yeah.
And because it started off, and Mitch really, when we first met, he read like only a couple things. Like you read the Ultimate Universe stuff.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think like regular Spider-Man maybe, or something like
Not
that.
even that.
Not even that. Yeah. So and since
Or
then,
like that in Green Lantern. Yeah.
yeah. And since then, he's kind of branched off into like his own territory, which I love seeing because I've been into comics since I was like 8, and up until I was about 16, I never knew anybody else was into comics. So I've seen it happen a couple times where someone will be like, "I love comics," and they'll start talking to me, and they'll slowly start, finding shit I don't know about.
Oh yeah.
So I'll mention something like Sex Criminals or Hawkeye, both of which are written by Matt Fraction. They're fantastic books.
Both are great.
But I'll mention those, and he's like, "Oh yeah, can I borrow them?" And I'm like, "Yeah, take them." And so he gets hooked on them. Then he's like, "Dude, have you been reading the new Justice League of America, which is written by Jeff Johns and drawn by David Finch, who is
Beautiful artist.
Oh my God, it's just so gorgeous.
So
Everything
dark
is.
and gritty.
He could paint with his own shit, and it would be beautiful.
Our sophisticated song.
Oh, welcome to Comics.
I know.
Yeah, so that'll happen.
I forgot I was the one who got you into JLA.
Yeah.
I'm proud of that.
So right now, really, what I'm reading then is Sex Criminals, Hawkeye, and then I was very, very bad. Green Lantern is my favorite. He's my favorite superhero. There's a little bit more to that.
I agree with
but
what you
I'm not
said.
gonna get into it.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's my favorite superhero, but I was bad and I fell behind on his current run.
It's tough.
It's tough. So I got
Things
caught up
cost
on
money
that, and there was a beautiful moment that I texted him about in one of the comic books, but it was like a Batman reference. But I got caught up on that, so I'm reading Green Lantern, I'm reading Sex Criminals, I'm reading Hawkeye, and kind of Justice League of America, though to a lesser extent. Also, I would say I'm still reading Animal Man, but
now it's
technically I am reading it, but it's canceled now, so I think it's
still got a
in
couple
2 or
months
3
left, but
Yeah, 2 or 3 issues, it's gonna be over. Which is really sad because Animal Man has a stupid power, but it's such a good book. Oh my God.
Talk about Sex Criminals.
What about? Oh yeah, they slap their main character.
Not many people know about it.
Well, okay, so here's the shtick.
Because you got me into that.
Yeah, so the best way I can describe it is you have 2 main characters. You have a guy and a girl, and they decide on a whim after meeting each other and having sex for the first time that when they orgasm, they both go into what is essentially, we don't really know what it is yet because it hasn't been explained in the book, but
They both have funny names for it, too.
yeah,
Because they have no idea what it is.
the guy calls it cum world and the girl calls it the quiet.
Yeah,
I
that's
think,
right.
which is totally accurate. Like that's exactly what a guy and a girl would refer to it as.
Yeah.
But basically, just time stops, and like colors get crazy and everything, and they move like
Regular.
as much as they do.
Yeah.
And they stay in it until they, come again. Exactly. So you can stay in it for a long time if you want. Anyway, so they decide when they realize they both have this power. The girl works at a library that's getting shut down, and the guy.
I forget what the guy does. Isn't he like an accountant?
Yeah, he's an accountant, and he like quit his job.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure because he's shitting that in his boss's plant.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm pretty sure he quit his job.
Oh, yeah.
So they just decided like, all right, so we both have this power. Why don't we just go rob banks? We'll just do it one time, to save the library, to get me some cash, and that's it. We'll be done. And so they're like, all right. So they go to this library, or not the library. They go to the bank.
They've been teasing at this thing.
Yeah, they've been teasing at this. And the first issue, I believe it's the first issue, literally opens up with them in a bathroom at a bank, just doing
leaving
it.
with
just doing it. And someone's yelling at them outside the door. You don't know who it is. And then the first issue ends with this big splash page, and you see 3 people, and they're wearing these long, like flowing white
They
cloaks.
look like they're from almost like the Matrix.
Yeah, they look like future cops.
Yeah.
Essentially. And
they're like, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah, they're like, "We know you're in there. Come out with your hands up." And they're still talking to them even when they're in like the time stop realm, which doesn't happen. Like that, they've never encountered that before. So they're like, "What's going on?" And my favorite part is that they're basically police. Like they're, yeah, I'm gonna do that. They're basically they're called the Time Police,
that's our name for them.
Yeah, well, Matt Fraction calls them that too.
Does he? Okay.
Yeah. So, well, the fans, I guess. They refer to them as Time Police. And the best part is they carry around these batons, and they're like glowing white dildos. And they just smack you in the like. There's a great panel where the main guy, is just getting clobbered with one of them by this other dude, and it's got like the spit coming out of the mouth, and cheeks like bubble or.
And like
so
even
good.
the writers like put in little notes that you can read, and they're just like, well, we wanted to do a music, like a music video.
She sings Fat Bottom Girls in the 3rd issue.
But because they don't have the rights to it, they had to block out all of the lyrics with like notes back and forth.
That's funny.
And so one of them was like, we wanted to do this, and we figured, well, we just smacked our main character in the face with a white dildo.
Might as well go for it.
Might as well go for it.
So yeah, it's that's pretty much it.
That's the premise of it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that actually brings me to the next topic, which work in progress. Like, what is the future for is there a particular direction that you're going to go with work in progress in the future, as in terms of guests, in terms of content?
I know we tried this.
I know you have like better equipment now for my.
Yes, we do.
We had a very generous benefactor who's
a
a
good
fan
friend
of the
of
show.
ours.
A good friend of ours. His name is Jeremy. He
Shout out to
Jeremy.
Shout
He
out to
bequeathed
Jeremy.
unto us some very, very nice equipment,
Oh.
and we are very thankful for that. We're still kind of trying to figure out how to use it.
Yeah.
Because Ian and Andrew, they both have.
They're our technical staff.
Yeah, and they both have degrees in it, but there's, it's different from like having a degree and knowing it in theory to actually using it. So each episode is getting better.
Okay.
I do want to, because I'm curious about it. We tried filming a new idea. Also underneath No, we filmed this. The board games.
Oh, yeah.
We tried starting up another project underneath the Work in Progress banner. I forget what we were going to call it.
Oh, I don't think we had a name.
But we filmed it. I need to ask who. I think it's like Ian probably about it. Because we wanted to start up a YouTube account and plug this show, and it was us just playing tabletop board games.
Sort of like what the fucking Will Wheaton show.
Tabletop?
Yeah, it's called Tabletop. It's the same fucking thing.
I know. Well,
It's
I just found
which
out,
is fine. I mean,
Nice.
I literally just found out the Game Grumps team is doing that now too.
Yeah.
So,
it's people like watching board. Anyway,
but it's
go
fun,
ahead.
yeah,
Why
because
not?
I feel like they're making a comeback.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is cool. So, hopefully that starts coming up soon. I know we've been in talks about trying to start up a YouTube channel.
It's up right
It's
now.
up.
There's
Okay.
just nothing on
That's
it.
not only gonna have like that, but like I think we're gonna also post our podcast on there with just like some goofy pictures of all of us, and
Yeah. I need to get.
we're gonna work on more vines, and I don't know about what for the podcast itself.
In terms of like guests wise, the only real thing that I can talk about, or that's even happening really, is next week, and it's confirmed. And unfortunately, Mitch is going to miss this because he has to work.
Yeah.
And I really wish he didn't, because I know he's been looking forward to it. But there's sort of a, it's not really a cult indie game, but it's a lesser known game. It's
Did
out
you
of
finally
Canada.
get him for that?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
It's a lesser known game out of Canada. It's called Drinking Quest, and it's like Dungeons and Dragons, but it's really stripped down and really easy to play.
Nice.
So like there's
very
like no math in it. So and
Cool.
We played the phone one where it did all
yeah.
the math for us.
Yeah, they just recently released an app on the phone for it.
We spent
And,
a whole episode literally just playing it. Hopefully, you need
I
to
need
ask him
about that.
we can air that.
Anyway, yeah, so it's called Drinking Quest, and it's you basically go around, and it functions the same way as Dungeons and Dragons would. So you have these, you
have
draw a
characters.
card. The card is like, oh, you're fighting this thing, or you're doing this thing. Roll your 6-sided die, and if you get this number or above, then you succeed, and you get this. If you don't, then you fail, and this happens. And it's very easy. You basically all you have is like a money, like you have your HP, your money, and then your experience, and that's it.
Yeah.
And your sexuality.
Oh yes, and your sexuality.
That's a score.
There's like stats for the characters too. Anyway, so yeah, the thing that makes it Drinking Quest is that when you die and
You die
after
a
like
lot.
the first 2, because there's 4 quests total. After the first 2 quests, you start dropping like flies if you haven't gotten the shit you need. So when you die, instead of that's fine. They when you die, as opposed to like just leaving the game, you basically chug your drink, and then you come back to life with I think less money or something.
I forgot.
But you come back to life and then you go on your merry way.
Either way, when we played, Jake was the only one with real beer.
Yeah, like
and I had
craft
like
beer.
a tall boy. And so
Well, you and I were the only ones drinking anyway.
yes, this is true. Well, we didn't find this out till later also. You get like experience points and you can spend them. We thought like if you had them long enough you could like level up or do something.
Yeah.
You only get them to make other people drink.
Yeah, that's their sole purpose.
That is the
Okay.
only
You spend
purpose.
them to like make someone else chug their drink.
Okay.
It's a very goofy, fun,
Yeah.
easy to learn game. So
Anyway,
even the phone app's even easier.
Yeah, exactly. The phone even rolls the die for you.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
it literally functions like we 3 could play it right now. We just put in our name on what character we want and just go.
And that's
Wow.
it.
Yeah. And it's really fun.
So you have like
We have
what-
the guy who
created that
the
game?
guy who created it.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Didn't you say you found him on like Twitter or Facebook?
Well,
or
I
something?
found him on Twitter because this is like my favorite. This is how I met this person story, because it was like a year and a half ago on Twitter, and I made some post about like how steak sauce can make anything taste better, and then
What kind of steak sauce?
any steak, like A1,
Oh,
like
okay.
A1 steak sauce, and I said it because
Not even like Sweet Baby Ray.
no, this is when I was drinking very, very heavily. So like, I would wake up and I'd start drinking, and I was making eggs one day, and all we had was I want a hot sauce.
Yeah.
We didn't have hot sauce. All I had was steak sauce, so I tried it, and it's delicious.
Nice.
It's actually really good. Anyway, I tweeted that, and he's like, "What about whiskey?" And I was like, because I guess he was just browsing through the standard
Sure.
homepage. So he tweeted
And
back,
yours,
and he's
you
like,
came up?
Yeah, well, yeah,
That's
and he
cool.
saw that, and he's like, "What about whiskey?" And I was like, "I have Jameson. Let me get back to you on that." And I tried it, and it tastes terrible. And I was like, "It tastes terrible." So then he followed me, I followed him back, and then I just kind of reply to him whenever he, posts stuff.
Neat.
But yeah, that's sort of how it met. And then while I was at work a few months ago, I guess he was doing a round of sending out review copies of his game to people who have like podcasts or some type of it was like a promotional thing.
Yeah.
And with also the added benefit of if he sent you a review copy, he would do an interview on your program. So I was
Did
like,
he actually send us a copy?
no, he's going to though.
Cool.
Whenever they print them again, because it's such a small thing.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah, that they run out real quick. But he is gonna send us one. Anyway, so yeah, he tweeted that, and I responded to him, and it was like an hour too late. It was an hour too late because he had already run out. But I was like, I have a podcast that like 50 people listen to, and he's like, you know what? You're like you like always you're responding to me, and you're a true fan, it seems. So yeah, I'll shoot you one, and when we print again, and I'll be on your podcast for you. And I was like, nice. So that'll be good.
That'll be cool though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's super exciting.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good guess. I mean, that's gonna be a lot of fun.
And
Is it gonna be like a phone interview?
it'll be
or-
over Skype.
Over
We're gonna
Skype,
do the
cool.
same thing that we did with Chris. Hopefully, this time it functions a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because the last time his audio ended
Something
up not being
happened,
usable.
yeah.
So the last episode we just posted kind of sounds horrible, but there's nothing we can do about it. So
Yeah.
but yeah, we'll be hopefully recording that, and it'll sound a little bit better. But it's not gonna be the whole episode. It'll just be like 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay.
That's
So,
still pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's still very, very cool.
Oh yeah. It's the good shit.
All right.
How did you crack your phone? Has it always been cracked?
No, this actually.
Oh,
just
that
happened.
was your message.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that happened yesterday.
So Work in Progress records every Tuesday at around
We
9 till
been
11
10 lately.
to 10. Yeah. In the evening, late at
yes.
night on Tuesday nights.
So far, it looks like our schedule has been we're recording Work in Progress on Tuesdays. It goes up by about Wednesday or Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And on Thursdays, we've been recording Comics and Coffee, which have been going up either that night or the previous day.
That one's dependent on Andrew, though.
That one's dependent on Andrew, yeah.
It's kind of... I believe him and I share, like, co-creator responsibilities for that.
Sure you
but
do.
It's kind of... Sure we
So do I.
It's literally, yeah, like, sure you do. But it's
Sure.
Andrew's baby at this point.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
Got a couple new projects. I'm going to talk to whoever's working our YouTube site because I wouldn't mind trying to put more things on there.
Cool.
Huh?
It's
Got it.
me right now.
Oh, it's you? All right.
It's supposed to
I need a
Brandon,
responsibility
But... No, I
for
feel
that show, so I can take care of the
Dude,
YouTube
I have
if you-
so many responsibilities for this freaking podcast.
I know,
will
but-
literally make it rain responsibility if you want it.
Hooray
That's
for
very
metaphors.
Make it rain responsibility.
Exactly. Real
So-
quick before we go ahead,
Yes.
the Facebook site is facebook.com/WIP podcast.
WIP
And I remember why.
Okay.
It's because Work in Progress was already
you say it was taken? Yeah.
That's
as
lame.
was Work in Podcast. So I did just, it's basically WIP podcast.
With podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
Well, Work in Progress also has a Vine. They also have a YouTube page as well.
And I'm going to try and work
hopefully
on all
more
that.
things will be
He'll put
posted
stuff
to
in
it.
there.
Well, this was Jake and Mitch from Work in Progress. So
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's been a
Thank
great
you
time.
guys.
It's been a
Finally
blast.
we could actually sit down and
I
get this
know,
going.
and I know, get this hammered
After
out.
like 2 months.
After I know, swear to God, yeah, I know. So
That's
thank,
all right.
thank you guys. You guys have been awesome. So
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
You can find more information on Work in Progress on their Facebook like page at facebook.com/WIP podcast. This episode's musical showcase is Fayetteville-based band Teenagers. In 2012, they got to represent Arkansas in Pace Magazine's 50 States project. Their most recent album, CA, was reviewed by local magazine Feature Magazine, saying that the poppy overtones of the album are met with an ethereal musicianship that shows the hard work they've put into perfection. I can't help but agree. Teenagers will be playing in Springfield on Saturday, December 28th at the Outland Ballroom, located at 324 South Avenue in downtown Springfield, with local bands Modern Epic and Kill Crows. The song I'm going to be playing for you today is titled Concrete Youth. Teenagers' album, CA, is available at their website, teenagers.bandcamp.com. They also have a Facebook page. You can go to facebook.com/teenagersar. All right, we've come to the end of episode 3 of Nighttime with Tess Devine. I would like to thank Jake and Mitch from Work in Progress. I'd also like to thank Teenagers, and definitely check out their show on December 28th at the Outland Ballroom in downtown Springfield. I would like to thank all of my fans on Facebook. I have over 100 fans and likes on Facebook, and it's just completely awesome. I love you all. You guys have been so great. Stay tuned for episode 4. It's going to be coming up soon. All right, thanks, guys.